Hello, everybody. I'm Anthony along with Leon and Marco, and this is Hard Knock Hawks. This is the podcast where we talk about our favorite NBA team, the Atlanta Hawks, and sometimes other stuff in the NBA too. Chris isn't here today because he's on vacation at work, so we're just going to be doing this podcast today without him. We are continuing our over under series for all the Eastern teams. Even though Chris isn't here, I did ask him for the over unders for the rest of the teams for in his opinion. So I will be talking about that. But we are gonna be going over the rest of the half of the Eastern Conference. And Leon told me this before we started that his phone may die during the recording, and it literally just hit right at the beginning. So that's okay. It's just gonna be Leon. I'm not listening, not Leon. Sorry, Marco. It's just gonna be me and Marco recording this. But like I said, last time we recorded, we basically covered half of the league, half of the Eastern Conference. We did 7 teams, and we're gonna be continuing our discussion with the second half of the Eastern Conference. And we're going to be starting our discussion today with the Detroit Pistons. So the Detroit Pistons are 45 and a half games over. And I'm going to start with you, Marco. Well, you're the only one here. So what do you think,
Hey,
Marco? It's just us today. So,
it's rare for it just to be just us. I don't think I've ever been on the one where it's just like two people. I think I've
yeah.
always been the one that's kind of out because of work or something. So
Yeah.
this is weird. This is just like this is just me and you arguing back and forth in the group
Yeah.
chat. But
Exactly.
we said the Pacers, right?
It's right. We're on the Detroit Pistons. 40. Let me make sure I said it right again. It's where is it? Dang, I said 45 and a half games over or under.
45 and a half. Who they added Karras. Who else did they add besides Karras?
Oh, actually, I gotta look that up. Give me a second,
I was
because
gonna say
I think
because Karras probably gives them like an additional. They get Ivy back too. Karras
no
probably gives them
Duncan
an addition.
Robinson. Duncan
Duncan
Robinson.
Robinson, that's a
They
good
signed Duncan
pickup.
Robinson.
Because you don't even need Beasley back at that point because you just got two decent scores and you just got.
Yeah, and
I think I'm
yeah.
I'll take the over. Just by not by a lot though. It'll be probably about like 2 games. I'll take the over on that one.
Yeah, I think for me, I would take the over as well. As I'm trying to look up the standings from last year. I think they'll probably be just about where they were. They're I mean, I think this was obviously a team that was going to run it back because I mean they have just so many young players, and this is JB Bickerstaff's second year, so you probably expect for them to like expect a lot of improvement from um Asar Thompson and others. So I won't really be surprised about that. The main thing I'm questioning is where does Jaden Ivey fit? Because I think they really played their best without him, especially during the second half of the season. And I don't really think Cade and Ivy are gonna really be that big of a be that great of a duo together. Like they have a negative net rating together, and honestly, if I was them, I would have probably traded Jade and Ivy already at this point and just see what happens. But
Well,
especially now that you have Karras, so
you really couldn't trade them at the time because first, you can't even tell people at the time. You couldn't tell people on the idea of Jaden Ivey because he was following the injury, and we were
yeah,
finally
that's
starting to
true.
see what he can become. I don't think Ivy is a starter on that team anymore, just because of the new additions, because of how certain players have started to pan out. I do think Ivy is a 6 man on that team now, which is good. That means you have 2 guards, you have 2, 3, you have a decent guard rotation because you have Cade, Ivy, Thompson sometimes can run the ball offense if you needed him to. And Karras is whatever. He might be trade bait at the deadline, depending where he's at, depending what it's at. You never know how that goes. Right now, I feel like they'll probably give it one more full season of what they have right now, unless something just falls in their lap and
Yeah.
it's just something they can't refuse. But they'll probably be like one more full season to see what they fully have. When extension talks start coming around for certain players, you got to start making decisions
Yeah.
and things like that. But yeah, like I said, I'll take the over on them, not by a lot, but I'll still take the over on them.
Yeah. It's just I think this year they're just expecting a whole lot of young improvement. So I think they're probably gonna just be about the same level from what they were last season. Last year they were the I think 6th seed, and I won't be and they were at 44 games. So if just a few of their players improve, they could probably just beat that easily. It's only like 2 games. So I probably expect them to just be at that same tier either way, unless they just make a big move at the deadline. But right now, I think it makes sense to me to just put them at over. They're probably still at that same middle tier, honestly. So, but
Yeah.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I was agreeing with you.
But I did get Leon and Chris's under and overs for all the teams before they had to leave. So for Leon, he said under, which I was actually kind of surprised about when he said that. And then for Chris, he said, let me make sure I got this over. So we got 3 overs and then 1 under. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see what the Pistons do. I think, like I said, they're just gonna be at the same level from what they were last year, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but some people may find that disappointing.
Yeah.
But now we're gonna go on to our next team, the New York Knicks. 53 and a half games over and under. I'll just get Leon to Chris's opinions out the way. Leon said under. Chris also said under. I mean, this is really interesting. They won 51 games last year,
Mm-hmm.
and considering that the Celtics aren't going to be as good as last season and the Pacers aren't going to be as good, and they have like a lot of talent as well. They have Karl-Anthony Towns. Jalen Brunson's going to be good. I wouldn't be surprised if they just went over this total because I mean they're just so talented, right?
Yeah.
And they got a new coach too. They don't have I can't believe I forgot his name.
They don't have Thibodeau anymore.
Yeah, they don't have Thibodeau anymore.
This will be their first season without Tibbs, wouldn't it?
Yeah, first season without Tibbs in like years. So they have I'm forgetting coaches' names today. They have the who coached the Kings last season?
Mike Brown.
Yeah, Mike Brown. They got him, and he's I think he's gonna change that offense a lot. Honestly, even though they were number 1 offense last season, I think that offense is gonna be completely different. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how Karl-Anthony Towns is used, and I don't know if they're gonna be relying on Jalen Brunson as much simply because of that. Because you saw with the Kings, they were very motion based and stuff. But what do you think, Marco?
I'm gonna also say under. One, because new coach coming in, you're trying to get them out of a system, trying to get them out of the Tibbs system. Brunson has been under the Tibbs system for quite some time now, so he's kind of ingrained into that. Same with a few other players on the roster. I don't remember. I don't want to say I don't remember. I didn't really pay attention too much to the Kings with Mike Brown because outside of that 1 year they did have, it kind of fell back down to earth. Now, granted, that was due to injuries or just players not being like what they were, like players falling off, like Keegan Murray kind of regressed a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't really know what Mike Brown's offense like really is because it just is me not really paying attention to him. Also in today's league, depth is just as important as your starting 5. And Knicks did beat a lot of injury bugs last year. Given because if they missed at least one or two of those guys out of that main 5, then they probably would have looked as scary given the depth they had. I'm gonna just say under just because it's a new system. You still have some guys that can get injured. Not wishing injury on anybody, but OG isn't the healthiest. Cat has had his fair share here and there. Um, Brunson has been fairly healthy, but the little guy usually always stays healthy. So I don't know. I'll just take the under just because it's a new offensive system. I don't really feel like it'll take them a minute to really mesh. And like you said earlier, he does play a lot of motion offense, and I don't think they really have a motion shooter that can really
That's fair.
help them with that. It's similar to how Quinn wants to run. Quinn's offense involves a lot of motions, and we had Bogey to do that, and it kind of it's helped in ways. So I don't really think they have the personnel to really do what Mike wants. So there's probably a lot of adjustment on his end too. But we'll see. I do think this is the Knicks' last season to try to make something shake because they just gave a few large extensions. So
I will say on the depth point, I think their depth has improved a good bit. I'm looking at the roster and I forgot they signed Gershon Yabusele. They got Jordan Clarkson, who obviously he's not the player he used to be, but he's still decent. I think their depth has improved, and Mike Brown, he's gonna play like the younger players, obviously, unlike Tibbs, who was starters only, and that was it for most of his time there. So
to even add to that point, I do want to spin back. The Knicks were not good against teams over 500.
yeah, that was true. Do you think Mike Brown could potentially fix that issue, maybe, or you
Like I
think
said,
it's
I'm gonna
just something?
this is
Or
just
you,
me with a lack of knowledge take right now.
yeah,
I really don't know what Mike Brown can do as a
that's
coach.
fair. Yeah, because
I
I
don't know
mean,
how much he can excel his players either.
I think a big thing is, especially with the Knicks as well, is that because the Cavs, we're gonna talk about the Cavs in a minute. They have like a few key players that are injured. The Celtics aren't as good as they are right as they usually were. They probably have a bigger opportunity to actually win more games this year because of that. And they won't
Yeah,
have to face certain troubles that they did with against like the Cavs because of their size and stuff, or the Celtics because they're shooting, stuff like that. So
yeah,
I can easily see that, but then again, Mike Brown, like he can be a weird coach at times. He had one good year, then the Kings just kind of just fell flat. But I don't know if that was really a Mike Brown thing or just the roster just not being good. They just overperformed so well
yeah.
that it
I think
just kind of collapsed.
a lot of people, like I said, a lot of the King situation was just a lot. But we'll see what Mike Brown can do this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Because he technically was like he wasn't even first. This is probably my last thing I say on the Knicks. That we can move on to whoever's
Yeah.
next. He was definitely not like anywhere on their list. He was just on the list of guys available, and I think that's how they played it. So I don't know if they even have much faith in him as a whole. But like I said, we'll see how that goes moving forward.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what the Knicks do because I mean, like you say, if they aren't able to actually just pull it off this year, the window may be closed. So we'll
Yep.
just see what happens to them. But let's move on to the team that this podcast is based on,
Yes,
the
sir.
Atlanta Hawks. 46 and a half games over and under.
Oh,
Leon
no.
Leon
Oh,
said over. Chris said under. What do you say, Marco?
I wanted to ask, I meant to ask Chris like how under did he think? Because how far under did he go? Because I don't.
I think I remembered one take. He said like 44 or 45 games.
That ain't too bad.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
I don't want
but
to
I'm
sound like
speaking, but I hope I didn't misrepresent him because
yeah,
he's gonna be mad at me
yeah,
if I
he'll
said
get
something
on you
wrong.
later about it. But
Yeah, exactly.
uh, I don't want to be a homer, and it does revolve a lot on availability. Before saying it, the Hogs are very due for a healthy season, And I just hope and pray that this is the year we're due for a healthy season, because it's been really rough these past. We've said multiple times, if we're healthy, this could happen. If we're healthy, this can happen. And has been the complete opposite of us being unavailable. So I'm gonna say the over by probably like 2 games, because our schedule is actually fair, like in our favor somewhat this time. The West trip isn't as early as it usually is. And it's not a longer trip how we usually do. So we kind of can get some stuff right. I think the front end of the season is kind of up and down. It just really depends on how we go. Like I said, for us, it all depends on. It's all due to availability. If we have our players, I feel like we can get near that 50 win mark. We got some fairly healthy players besides out of the pickups. I don't think Luke Kennard has been hurt in like the recent years. If he has, it's probably been like a hamstring or a small little sprain, probably out 2-3 games.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Nikhil, I
Oh
think
my
Nikhil's
God.
been fairly I think Nikhil's been fairly healthy from what I've known from him, because I've always kept an eye on him. He's been one of my favorite like role players. KP is like the big question mark. We've said it in the chat. Realistically, all I need from KP is 60 games. 55 to 60. That's majority of the season, and just be ready by playoffs. That's all I ask.
For me, I'm gonna go on. I was about to say under. I mean over. I think they have enough good role players to where that they can survive most of the deficiencies that they've had over the past few seasons. Like, case in point, one of the biggest problems for literally the past few years was they didn't have a backup power forward. Now they had literally 3 or 4. We never have to worry about that again for a minute.
Yeah.
So, do they have a backup point guard? Not really. But I mean, you got Luke Kennard, you got Kobe Buffkin. I mean, it could potentially work decently well. Don't look at me like don't look at me like that when I said Buffkin. But
you have a look.
you
At first, I was like, we need to get a backup point guard. And like, as I started looking at the roster, you have enough guys. Truthfully, nobody's going to want to play. No matter who you go get, nobody's going to want to play at least 5-10 minutes, because Trey is going to come back in regardless. Trey is going to get the minutes.
I wouldn't say 5-10 minutes. It would probably be more like 12 to 14, maybe. But I mean, that's the thing, right? I mean, I think they will be fine. Like I said, they have Dyson could be backup point guard. You have Luke Kennard. For that, like,
the idea is Jalen is the one you're staggering. So Jalen will probably come out first for a little bit. Then soon as Trey sits, you'll have Jalen come in and like try to be that playmaker. It'll be a group playmaking effort off the bench, because even out the guys you name, like Luke Kennard is a decent ball handler, a decent playmaker. He's still not capable enough to do it purely on his own. Kobe isn't really a playmaking guard. He's more of a score first guard, but he can do enough to where he can hopefully drive to the lane and get a quick kick out or get somebody off balance, kick out, let some help come over, et cetera. So like I said, the bench unit will be a lot of group playmaking, and primarily you will want Jalen to be the powerhouse of that.
Yeah. And for some of the other flaws, I mean, the big one that I can also think of is self-creation. I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue in the regular season. Honestly, it's really just going to be more of a playoff thing that's going to be a big issue in. And that's just something we're just going to have to wait and see on, honestly. I feel like, since I think the offense will probably be good enough to where, because now that we have more shooting and better play finishers, it will probably be good enough to where that it can just survive some of these issues. Yeah. Like, honestly, I think they could probably be like 48-49. Maybe they can overperform and get to 50, which will be insane. But honestly, I think it's a solid bet to say they could be over. So
Yeah. Yeah. One last thing before we move on to next team. I will say we were somehow surprisingly good against teams that were over 500.
yeah,
And
we were good.
We struggled vastly against teams that were under 500 or right at 500.
Yeah, and that's been a thing with the Hawks for years. And I do think having more role players and hopefully as the team is maturing and now that we're at this moment of the team being, serious or considered serious, they could probably get that break through that barrier now because good teams beat bad teams easily. So
yeah, agreed.
So yeah, we'll just have to see for the Hawks, but I think that everyone more or less says over except Chris. So we'll just see what happens this season. Hopefully they start off well. But now
Yeah.
we're gonna go for the next team, the Chicago Bulls. 31 and a half games. Over and under. Chris said over. Leon said over. I think this is the easiest over on here because Billy Donovan is here. Like, I don't think he's an amazing coach, but he's gonna coach like competently enough to where that he's not gonna like absolutely tank the team. Josh Giddey is really good. He's a really good passer, great playmaker. You have Matas Buzelis. You got Kevin Herter. Like, you have a bunch of good players here, right? And I just wonder. I don't think this roster is obviously not bad enough to where that they're just going to bottom out completely. And I'm kind of surprised that the number is just so low considering everything. But what do you think, Marco?
That is the easiest under I've ever said in my life. I don't know why.
Under, really?
I don't know why we think they're getting over 32 games, man. That's no.
I mean, listen, this team has been in the play-in for years. You think they're gonna?
They were in the, but you got they were in the play-in because they had Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. If those two players can guarantee me anything, they're going to guarantee a play-in spot.
But they got Kobe White. They got Vucevic.
But now they just lost two big powerhouses. No matter what, they lost two big powerhouses. Like that's you can't ignore it. They don't even want Vooch on the team. They've been trying to get rid of him for the past 3 months. They can't even get a first for him. I don't even know what they're asking for him, but they can't get what they want apparently. I'm not worried about the Kevin Herter hoops. They got Isaac Okoro too, I think, right? Not
yes,
really.
They do.
A completely one-dimensional character like player, and Josh Giddey, I'm not really worried about that. Like, they have players that are role players, and if you put a bunch of role players together, that does not make one all-star. That's just a bunch of players with no direction or whatever. The Bulls again have no reason to. That's another team that has no reason to try to win this year. If they try to win this year, they're just completely unless they just don't own their first that I don't know about, or that first has some serious conditions on it that I just don't know about, then that's just one team that has no benefit in trying to win. They're not going to play anybody over Matas because they want to develop him. They just got Noah. Noah's going to get majority of these minutes because again they want to develop him because now that's your forward duo right there. So it's like I don't really have a real reason to try to get close to 30 wins. I need to get another top pick. I need to be as bad as possible without the obvious tanking. So that's
just to say they do have their own 2026 picks. They have 2 picks in 2026.
So I clearly have no reason to start winning right now. They want to be as bad as possible. And it depends what they do with Vooch. They might end up buying him out at this point because he's expiring. It's whatever at this point. That clears up another spot.
It's just I'm looking at this roster and it's like, are they really that bad to where that they're gonna be winning like less than 31 games? Like just like Josh Giddey, Kobe White, like that's probably decent enough to where that you can have like, let's just say a decent offense. I don't know about the defense, but like maybe they could probably score a punch, maybe, possibly. But you know what? Actually, I may be talking myself out of this.
I'm like, you got to look at like if you say the over, they probably get over by one game.
And now I'm trying to think
Maybe
about how are they going to get stops. Like
because
this is a really weird one, honestly.
Are we sure that we know the direction the Bulls want to go? Do they know the direction they want to go?
I don't think they're going to tank. They never really seem like a tanking organization.
I mean, because they were stuck with Levine and DeMar for like a good 6 seasons.
I mean,
they had no choice but to try to win because nobody wanted that contract. The Kings were just dumb enough to take both of those players.
They could have traded Zach LaVine, DeMar anytime though, but they didn't want to.
No, they tried. They tried, and nobody wanted. They didn't get a first for neither one of those players.
I don't know. Maybe I should change it. I really wish there was just a middle.
Like that's the easiest under I have ever said on this podcast, man.
Like, I just think, especially with Billy Donovan, who's still the coach,
man, you can give him Steve Kerr. He's not making wine. He's not turning water into wine.
I'm just saying, it's only 31 games. It's only 32
they're
games.
They're not getting 31. At max, I give them 25.
Are you really think they're that bad?
I'm so serious. Yes, I'm so
I don't think so. I really don't think so. Josh Giddey.
If they had at least one of Zach LaVine, if they had at least one of Zach LaVine and DeMar, you might have convinced me. But they have neither.
They have Kobe White. Kobe
White is not good enough to carry that team by himself. He's always good enough as a second fiddle.
I'm not saying he's got to carry team by himself, but they got the Sumo, Ayo Sumo, like
who's still not an offensive player.
Good on defense, right? Like,
but what he's going to guard everybody?
No. They got Isaac Okoro. I mean, he could guard like.
But yeah, then at this point, when I get Isaac Okoro on the other end of the field, they're helping off of him.
I just wouldn't be surprised if they just overperform.
I would be surprised if they overperform.
Okay. If they overperform like that total by just a little bit. I think there's enough talent here to where that you can say that, right? I 100% believe it. I'm surprised. Like, oh yeah, and they got Noah Senge. Like, you showed.
But Noah is still raw, man. And like I'm saying, they're going to give most. They're going to give most of the minutes to Noah and Matas because that's their forward duo moving forward. So most of the time, they're probably going to be closing the game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now you make me want to change.
Nah, man, stand on that. Y'all confident in that over. Stand on that. Y'all confident in that over.
I just think it's not bad enough to like completely bottom out like you're saying it is.
They're not going to bottom out. They're still going to try to. They still have to get some type of value off of Vooch, so they still have to make him look good to a degree, unless they just buy him out.
He's 35 years old. He's a 35-year-old center. Like they're not getting any value from him.
Then if they buy him out, then my prediction just drops lower.
Oh, I mean they got Jalen Smith. They can play him. I mean he's okay. Like.
Yeah, because in 2025, I want Jalen Smith to be my starting center.
Listen. I never said the Bulls were going to be good. I just said they have enough talent to where that they could surpass that total. That's all.
I'm not buying it.
Okay.
Even with Kevin, look, let's get off this conversation, man, because you should have me slander Red Velvet. And I don't even want to do that.
All right. Let's move on to the next team. This one's gonna be an interesting one. I think this is gonna be a funny one. The Brooklyn Nets. And I'll start this one again. 20 and a half games over or under. You know what? I'm gonna say over. And this is even though the team is just extremely weird because of the fact that they just drafted 5 rookies. I believe in their coach.
Only hit on one of those rookies. Maybe 2.
I think their coach is good. They still have what's his name? Nick Claxton. I think they're gonna manage to win 20, 22, 23 games.
Mind you, Cam Thomas is not on that roster as of right now.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's probably gonna get a contract though.
He wants
Probably.
35 million.
He with how they view like how the NBA views these score first guards and stuff that he's not getting that.
Oh, we know he's not getting that.
Yeah,
So
he's no
he might just
chance.
he's gonna take that qualifying offer and just let it rock,
Yeah,
or he might just sit out. He doesn't have to sign.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, if he sits out, he's gonna be missing out on a lot more. So better just take the money. I feel like he probably should just take the money. But yeah, I think. Oh, they only won 26 games last year. Yeah, I think even with the rookies, I believe in Joey Fernandez because I thought he had some impressive wins last year with what he had with the roster. And I think even though it will be really difficult to like actually try and develop 5 rookies at once because the Brooklyn Nets could literally trade a single one of those picks, that's still like one of the funniest things to me. Um I believe in some of the talent, some of the players as well, like Nolan Traore and Igor Demin. I think they can get to 20 games. I think that can happen. Oh, what do you say, Marco?
I got them right at 20.
So basically, under.
Yeah, I give it right at I'll take a very small under. Looking at the draft picks, I was a Danny Wolf believer pre-draft. Not gonna lie. I don't know. Danny Wolf is just a weird player. Like I feel like if he can figure out that he's 7 foot, I think he'll be a good player, a good rotational player. Nolan Traore, kind of something there, kind of not. I don't really know. They definitely were weird this draft. Because I think they literally were just trying to trade those picks and it just never they couldn't get anything to move off the ground.
Look, they got Haywood Highsmith, they got Heat legend Haywood Highsmith, they got Terrence Mann from the Porzingis trade. I mean,
they'll get, like I said, I got them right at 20.
They got Michael Porter Jr. They got Michael Porter Jr. too.
They'll get 20. There's a lot of unethical hoops on that team.
I think they have enough. I think they have enough to where they can get 22, 23.
I don't know what they'll do. I think it's just weird because nobody really knows what they're trying to do. Like we know they probably want to actually start a real rebuild, but you never know. They might view Michael. They might view Michael and Terrence as like real building blocks. I don't know. Since they're kind of stuck with Claxton right now, as of right now. So they might see those 3 and they're probably like, man, if we can get some other players in here, we can probably do a little something because the East is kind of a little weak right now.
Nobody's gonna view those as serious pieces.
The Nets aren't a serious franchise.
Oh god.
But it's like, it's whatever. So I don't know. They'll get 20. They'll get 20 though. Michael and Terrence and Claxton kind of guaranteed 20 wins. It just depends on how they delegate minutes. Like I said, as of right now, no Cam Thomas. If they had Cam Thomas with the current group, I probably would put them a little over.
Yeah, I think he's gonna sign with the Nets again, and that's probably just gonna be easy over. Honestly, for me, I mean, I won't say easy over, but I think it's probably gonna be enough with Michael Porter Jr. It's gonna be ugly to watch, but it's probably gonna be enough to where that they probably just go about 20 games, win 20 games. So
it's gonna be very unethical hoops.
But a lot of this really just depends on how the rookies develop because they have 5 rookies. So
yeah, that's still insane that they actually took 5, but I'm gonna let them rock. Not my team. Like I said, yeah, I got them right at 20. 20, I feel is fair for what they're, for what they have. If Cam Thomas signs back, then I give them a small over.
All right. I'm just gonna say over no matter what.
Did you get Chris and Leon's out the way?
Oh, I'll say again. I think I did already, but if not, Chris said Nets under. Leon said, let me make sure I got his. or is it under? So I'm the only one. I'm the contrarian for the Nets over.
All right, all right.
So our next one is gonna be the Charlotte Hornets. 27 and a half games over under. You could start, Marco.
I actually like their draft. Their draft was very. The Hornets finally have picked a direction. Hornets has always been a team I like have secretly like vibed with a little bit. Um, Vibes went up a little bit because of Lamelo. The current group, I actually kind of like their chances. I'm gonna take the over. I can see them getting at least 30, 32. Just because they drafted well. They got two big forwards. They got Kalkbrenner, who was an older rookie, but he does fill a hole that they needed because they just traded away Williams. They traded away Peters. I think they only had like one center on the roster prior to those trades. So he'll be a decent rookie as well. Like I said, they got two good big forwards. I was a very big Con guy moving forward. I was kind of hoping he somehow slipped to us. Knew that wasn't going to happen, but with something he's kind of slipped to us. So I like their roster construction right now. Still got Miles Bridges on that team. Cough, cough. Yeah, I got them. I got them with a easy over.
I'm gonna say over as well. I like you said, it's an easy over. Lamelo, he's really good. I like
I
you
didn't even
said,
bring up
I
Brandon.
was a
Shit,
I was a big Con fan. What did you say?
I didn't even bring up Brandon. I forgot my boy.
Yeah, they got Brandon Miller, they got Con. Uh, they actually have sitters now, so with Mason Plumlee, and they did get Kalkbrenner. So I think they're probably gonna be a good team, but the main constant with this is that if LaMelo is healthy, they're probably gonna win like more than 30 games. But if he's not, I don't know. That's gonna be the real interesting question. Now they have Colin Sexton. They trade
They
for him.
do got to call it
Yep,
now.
yep. They have Colin
Damn.
Sexton. So I think he's gonna really help that team a lot, especially when Lamelo's off the court to just organize the offense and stuff. And I think that's probably gonna be a huge benefit for them. Or I don't know, actually, if he may even start honestly next to Lamelo, which would be interesting. But I don't know how the Hornets would do things. But yeah, but I think a lot of it this season for Hornets is just really gonna depend on whether or not Lamelo's just gonna be healthy or not. So if Lamelo plays 60 games or more, I think it's an easy over. But I'm gonna ask you this, Marco, and then I'll go to myself.
All right.
If Lamelo misses like more than half the season again, do you think they're gonna win 27 or more games?
That is a mellow. They're kind of like in a similar thing with us, just with newer players. That is a very Lamelo dependent roster, kinda. Miles Bridges and Colin Sexton though
Yeah, they have
do
Colin Sexton now, so
can put
that could
them over
help.
that hump, even if Lamelo misses half the season. Because Colin Sexton is still a starting guard. He might not start on this team. He might be their sixth man, but that still is a starting guard in today's league, in my opinion. So they still can, even if he misses half the season, they still can get over that hump. I still got them at 30 with just Sexton, Brandon, and Miles alone.
Yeah, I agree because honestly, as a big Sexton supporter, who even want him on the Hawks, right? Um, I think he's gonna help the Hornets a lot on their offense, especially because Lamelo had a career high of field goal attempts, and that's probably gonna go down with Sexton and Khan now being there. So I think their offense is gonna be more interesting and more diversified now, especially with them on there. The defense is gonna be interesting. They're probably gonna be bad, but it's just gonna be a fun team to watch them score, honestly. So I think it's gonna be easy over for me. Um,
Yeah.
Let me see what Chris and Leon said. So I think they both said over. Let me check. Chris said over, and Leon said over as well. Yep. So everyone has said over with this.
I like to see it.
All right. This is the one I've been waiting for. The Orlando Magic. The
Orlando
Orlando
Magic. Orlando Magic. Hey, their song is catchy, man. We need something
Yeah.
like that.
50 and a half games over and under. Chris said over 50 and a half games. Leon said over 50 and a half games. What do you think, Marco?
Their
You
biggest
can go
addition
first.
was Desmond Bain, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I
Desmond
think that's
Bay.
the only thing, like besides some extensions, I think that's the only guy they brought in.
Yeah.
That's actually they have a very nice big physical team. I think my concern is where are they going to run Desmond Bain? Where are they going to run Desmond Bain? I think that's like the question most people had, because you still have
I mean, I assume it's probably gonna be like when everyone's healthy, Jalen Suggs, Bain,
they
Wagner.
got Tyus Jones too.
Yeah, he's the backup point guard. Probably. So
yeah, their moves this year with the big names, they Noah Pin, not even big names. Everything they did was they traded for Desmond, signed Noah Pinda, signed Tyus Jones. So I don't know if I'll put them. I don't know if I'll take that over. Something in me just does not want to take that over. Because they do have, I will say, like last year probably was like their, like if everything could have went wrong for them, it went wrong. Like Banchero had a torn labrum early in the season, but he was able to come back. Think who was out with an ACL tear?
I think it was Mo Wagner, Fran's brother.
Yeah, Mo was out with ACL tear, I think. Then Franz got hurt. I forgot what happened to him, but he had missed some significant time too. So like now that roster's kind of, even what you call it. I don't know why I can't remember his name. Ah, I don't know why I can't remember his name for some reason. It's just not a blank of mine. But anyway, all of their main guys had some type of like substantial injury this past season. I'm gonna take the under. I'm not gonna lie. Just something in me just doesn't want to take that over on them, just because I think they still have shooting issues. Oh, Jalen Suggs. I don't know why Jalen Suggs' name
Yeah,
just
Jalen Suggs. Oh yeah.
He had a pretty decent injury. Yeah, I'm gonna take the under just because of that team actually has real injury concerns now. Still lack some real shooting. Bain helps that some. Tyus helps that some. If De Silva and a few other guys can get the shot up just a little bit, then maybe that helps. But their whole thing is they're just like a big physical team. So yeah, right now I'm gonna just say the under.
All right. I'm gonna say under as well. And honestly, I think the Orlando Magic are probably going to be the most overrated team in the entire Eastern Conference, in my opinion, anyway. I just don't think they're going to improve as much as people think they have. Yes, they added Desmond Bain. Their shooting has improved. Instead of 0 shooters, they got 1 shooter. That's good for them. But now that they don't have Caleb Houston, they're going to be playing players like Jet Howard, who's terrible. They're going to be playing rookies like Jason Richardson, who may not even be good in his first year. They're going to be playing Noah Penda. We may not even know he's good. Like, it's just such a weird team. Their offense is going to be terrible. I don't think they're going to be able to just basically play bully ball for the most part for like the entire season. And I just think it's going to like not be good enough to where that they're going to be winning 50 games. When I saw the 50 game total, I was honestly kind of shocked because to me, this doesn't seem like a team that's good enough to win 50 games realistically.
No,
I don't. I just don't think it, especially what they have, because I mean, especially with the whole Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner thing, they just don't work together on offense enough to where that the duo really works. So I just don't believe in the team right now as it is. So I think it's an easy under for me. I would not be surprised if this team underperforms, especially with some of the players. I think it's fair to say that are injury prone, like Jonathan Isaac and Jalen Suggs, and that means they're gonna have to rely more on their rookies and some of their other players. So like Tyus Jones, who is okay, but like there's a reason why the Suns basically benched him like near the end of the year. Like he wasn't that good.
Well, yeah,
So
he's not a starter. He's
yeah, he's literally just a bench guy that can get easy assists. That's it. So I just don't see it honestly with the Orlando Magic. I think they're gonna be really overrated this year, and I get it because people see Paul Banchero or Franz Wagner, and if I'm wrong, I will gladly admit I'm wrong in like spring of 2026. But I just don't see. I think this team's gonna just be win like 46, 47 games at most. They're gonna be the most scared, easy, scared, feared first round exit that we're gonna see this year, this season, and it wouldn't really surprise me at all. So that's just me. I just don't buy this team in the hype. You got anything else to say, Marco?
I don't
Before I
think
go off my
they'll.
rant. Oh my god.
I'm only to put disclaimer on my under. Um, I only have them under by like probably one. I have them probably right at 50. I'm not gonna lie. If everything goes everything goes the way they stay healthy, I can see them getting that 50.
They
If
ain't winning
not,
50 games, man. They ain't win 50 games.
and man, that's Orlando's a good team. They're big and physical. They will if you
They
can't
won
out physical
40.
that team, then that's kind of like you
They
kind of
won
lost.
41 games last year.
I mean, but that's also because Banchero missed 3 months and a bunch of other shit happened. So
When everyone was healthy, the season before, like last season, 2023 to 2024,
they won
for the
47 games.
Magic, they won 47. I just
So you
that
don't
was
think
when
Desmond Bain
basically
would
a
get
good
them? You don't
majority of
think
those
Desmond Bain
teams.
would get them those extra 3 wins?
I mean, not everyone, not all the defenses just start loading up on him because he's the only real shooter.
I mean, but you can't load up
Like,
too much because you still do have to worry about Banchero in the paint. That's like
I
me.
mean,
That's a physical team, man.
he's not gonna be shooting the paint. He's gonna be shooting those mid rangers. He's gonna be missing. So I mean, I'm not. I don't think. I think they're gonna be. I just think they're gonna be way overrated for what they are right now. Honestly.
All right, all right,
I don't know. I just don't get the hype.
all right. What's our next team, man?
You just said let's just move on.
Yeah,
Let's move on. Just let Anthony rant. Oh my god. The last team of our little Eastern Conference series is the Cleveland Cavaliers. 56.5 games over under. I'm gonna start with a little disclaimer. This is the only team I think I had to do this with. Garland will miss the beginning of the 2025 season, and Max Strus also has an injury. Let me actually look this up real quick. But before I actually do that, the Cavaliers, for Chris said the Cavs are under, and Leon said the Cavs are under. What do you think, Marco?
I got them over. I'm not gonna lie. That's a easy. That's not an easy over, but Kenny is a good coach, man. T was like legit just praising that man a couple days ago on his podcast. Like Kenny legit knows talent, and Kenny knows how to excel players at their peak, and he knows how to put players in roles. Now with the Max Strus and Garland injury, depends. I think Garland's probably out for a good 3 months, probably 2, so that might dampen it a bit. But D. Mitch, Dre, Mobley and Allen can probably still get them over that hump. Seeing where the East is right now, and it's probably only East probably has like three real heavy hitters right now, just because of other teams being injured, et cetera, et cetera. And the rest are kind of like, yeah, we can get that top five, top six, but you got like three that are solid, with them being one of the three. I still feel like they can get over that hump just with D Mitch alone, because he's just that dominant by himself. Like he really just can't get it. So I'm gonna give them the over. Um, I'm confident in that over. Like I said, but yeah, I'm just gonna be confident in that over. Now, actually, disclaimer: if they start if Dre has to like start, because I don't know who else is on that roster at the top of my head. If Dre does have to start, then that might be an easy under. Because
So I was about to get into that before I gave my take. Matt Strus has to have knee surgery. He's out for 3 to 4 months. So
did he
Hunter
already
does
have the
have to
surgery?
start. Huh?
Did he already have the surgery?
Yes, he did.
So he'll be
So
back by January.
yes, I believe so.
Like January, February. That's a lot of games.
Yeah. So Hunter's starting, basically. He's gonna be starting. Unless they start Jalen Tyson, which I don't think they will.
Yeah, Hunter is starting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still going to stick with my over. I think D Mitch can, like I said, D Mitch and Mobley are like dominant enough to really get them over that hump.
Yeah, I'm gonna say over too. I mean, the East is too wide open and they're easily probably one of the most talented, well coached teams in the league. They had a did Evan Mobley win Defensive Player of the Year? Did he? I forget.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, they have a guy that won Defensive Player of the Year. Donovan Mitchell's still really good. Um, they probably won't need Darius Garland for a minute because Donovan Mitchell can just basically act as pseudo point guard, and they have who else? They have they got Lonzo Ball too, so
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine for the most part, unless Hunter gets hurt, and then they're gonna have real size issues. But honestly, I don't think right now there's a team that will probably be able to claim the first seed other than the Cavaliers right now. So I'm gonna say over.
No, I agree. I agree. Like I said, D Mitch is just too dominant of a player to me to like fully ignore him too much.
Yeah. But with that, we went over all of the teams in the Eastern Conference. Are there to you, Marco, are there any teams that you think will underperform significantly or overperform significantly from all 15 teams that we have covered?
Better. I'm gonna revise that for myself. A better question would be: would I be disappointed if they underachieve?
Yeah, that's probably better. There we go.
Um, Not gonna lie, I would be kind of disappointed if the Pistons don't come out blazing, because I feel like with these being open as it is right now, even though that is a roadblock for us, Cade is just like that guy. So I feel like if they're not what people are expecting them, is it on JB? Is it on something? Did something change? Did like Tobias just fall off, or did Duncan Robinson's always been a mixed bag because he's so one dimensional that you can't really play him too much? Given with it, I would be vastly disappointed if the Pistons aren't what I'm projecting them to be. And they won 44 games last year and was 6th seed. Granted, they played the Knicks first round. It's just draw the cards at that point. But I would be vastly disappointed. Now, if another question to revise that last question you said, who would I be surprised if they did like better than what they're projected? I would not be surprised. This one kind of hurts the soul to say a little bit. I would not be surprised if
Don't say Hawks.
nah, I
Okay,
would not be
I'll say.
surprised if the Raptors are a little bit better than what I'm thinking. Like I said in the first episode, I'm not the biggest Scotty Barnes believer. And the roster is very weird because they have a lot of guys on there that like are selfish in a sense. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just somehow snuck into the top 6. Maybe, yeah. I'll leave it at top 6. I don't even want to deep dive that a little bit too more. It already hurt to admit that, but yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be those would be my 2 teams.
For me, I would not be surprised if the Philadelphia 76ers were a top 6 seed or like a top 4 seed because Embiid could just be really healthy this season, and all of a
I don't think
sudden,
Embiid is playing the first few months. I think that's not being talked about enough. I don't think he's like 100%.
are
I
we
think
are we
he's.
sure about
I'm
that?
not. I'm not saying. I'm pretty sure he's not 100%.
Because
Or
I mean,
feel good enough to actually be on that knee.
if
Let's
he
put it like
feels,
that.
I mean, we'll see what happens when the season starts. But if he feels good enough to where that um he can play, I would not be surprised if they just overperform completely. Because I mean, Embiid's literally that talented,
Just
and
like Leon said in the first episode, they have 3 knees they have to worry about.
yeah, 3Ds, and then just hope one of them, if one of them just falls apart, that's it. So
Yeah, I don't know. Embiid, they've been very quiet on Embiid. He hasn't had an actual health update in a minute. The last update we heard on him, he's been at home chilling. So I don't know if
I
that's
mean, no
positive or
news is good
bad.
news. So
I mean, for him, not necessarily because we're expecting the knee to be hurt. Like that ESPN interview came out too. Like I said, they said his knee wasn't in the right place, man. I don't know.
oh my.
I don't know. I don't think that guy's gonna play the first month or two, but we'll see.
And for a team I would be disappointed in, uh, it would probably be the Knicks. I think their roster is just too talented. I know they have a new coach, but I think they should be able to get 50 wins with how open this East is. They're too good not to get that. If they don't get 50 wins or more, I would be shocked, honestly.
Yeah. A lot of people are expecting him to be one of the top dogs. So if they just somehow don't get over that top dog hump, then
Yeah. Then
yeah,
there's
no
a massive
excuse.
problem.
Indeed, no excuse.
But with that, me and Marco are going to be signing off on the 43rd episode of Hard Knock Hawks. As usual, make sure to
Ah,
like and subscribe, follow the podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Ah,
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 ah.
ah.